Just because
Tier 6. Oh,
the Fury.
We'll get into that here soon.
The Fury looks so cool, and I like the movie. And I bought the Fury just because of that. Yeah.
Now, do you change your play style if you're solo as compared to tuned?
Yes, absolutely. Play like way less of a dickhead if I'm platoon.
Way less of a dickhead.
Yeah. If you platoon, you've got a responsibility and not just YOLO off into the distance and try and have a 6-kill game. Like, you've got to actually support your platoon, mate. Like, the difference...
Exactly. It's a marriage.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to work. If I'm in,
it's dysfunctional.
It gets dysfunctional. Like, when I first started playing, there was a mate of mine I used to platoon with. He's changed his name twice now, but he was called Dark Knight then. And he was really helpful to me. And he told me, like, I was struggling, and he said, you've got to go down the German heavy line because it'll teach you how to angle. So I did, and he was right. It did. And it changed the whole way I played the game and made me think about things more methodically, and I actually started getting into the science of it and the min-maxing and all that kind of thing. And he used to get so frustrated with me because as soon as I got medium tanks going and realised you can go fast, I would just take the most like driving bridge as fast as I could on Fails Creek to try and catch them as they were spawning and hoping they were all going to the cap and stuff, and just getting lit up, but then having games where you destroy everything. And I realised back then that I really needed to pull my head in a bit. And I think platooning is good like that. It makes you pull your head in and be a bit responsible, and because he got quite frustrated. And
now, so do you still platoon with Dark Knight?
Not really. He's now Ace Infinity Strike when he became Ace Catalyst, I think, at the current time. That's one of the things, I don't know about you guys, but on the Asian server, everyone joins a clan and then pays 2,500 gold to change their name or something, and puts their clan name in front of it, and then changes their name if they don't like it to another thing. And I've got all these people on my friends list that just talking to me, I don't know who they are, and yet they're all really good players. I'm looking at their win rates, and I'm like, where'd you come from? And it's people I used to play with, and they've changed their names and changed their clans.
So
I didn't realize who it was.
Viper would like to know if you think the Panther 1 and 2 are justifiably mangled, and if so, do you ever think the 2 will receive a buff?
This is a real bone of contention for me because I hated those tanks. I free XP'd through both of them pretty much. Really hated them. And I thought they were crap. And I've talked to Ruckus about it in chat, and a couple of the other guys, and there's people that swear by these tanks. And I then ground up the second German line and played the Indian, or the Indian, or however it's pronounced, and those medium tanks, which are nearly Panthers by another name. Like the Indian has, it's not trollish at all. Like the armor's pretty crap. You can pen it from everywhere, and it's got a solid gun, and it's a Panther basically.
All right, so let me send a technician out to the house. I don't know how long it's going to stack this. Going through this all morning. Right,
is that for me?
Hey, Coyote, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
So I think they're actually good tanks now. I've come right around it. I'm thinking about rebuying the Panther 2. And I struggle with that because the Panther 2 has a crap engine, has crap armor. It's got nothing great going for it apart from the gun. But I realise that if you're smart about the way you play the game, that can really work. Because that's what the Leopard line is, and you don't get that speed until you get to the Leopard PTA. The Indian is not that quick, and it's not got much acceleration, and it's not got much armor. So after playing those and being really successful playing all that way up that line, I found maybe the Panther can be used, but it's not. It's like the Leopard. You don't want to be playing that as your first ever tier 10. You rage quit. I mean, the Panther I think is the same, and it's a really tough line to grind first thing out of the box. Really tough.
Now, Abrams want to know, do you have any successful advice on play for TDs in the German line, like tier 9, tier 10?
Well, I never got there. I played them on test, but it's like one of the things I want to get to is the Jagdpanzer V100, and I'd love to play the Jag Tiger. I play the Snowstorm 88, which has got the crap pen, but it's the same basic.
No, I know. I spent $25 because of whiskey on it.
I like that tank. I do well in that tank. It's great. And I find you've got to angle and you've got to be really, really map aware. And I think it's the same. And it's the same problem I had when I started with the E100 again, before I figured out a little bit more about map awareness and that's why I love the E3. It's got a lower profile, and the profile's huge. You don't like the Russian tanks aren't always just good because of their armor and stuff. It's because their height. And there's a lot of stuff in the game where a small tank wins, like the flanks of Oasis Palms and the middle bunker on Copperfield and not Copperfield, Rockfield, sorry, where you can get hit from down below. But if you're in a low profile tank, you can go on the other side of it and that hill protects you. And the Jagdpanzer 100, if you go out and YOLO down the middle or push forward in that tank and your flanks aren't protected, you get lit up. And I think the big thing about that tank is it can't really push. It can't be the tip of the spear very successfully. It's too big. It's too cumbersome. It's got to have something to angle off to be, its lower glacis is massive. And those kind of tanks really scream to me, the Jag Tiger in particular. You don't want to be in a position where you're open. You're always going to be looking for obstacles to side scrape off, or like a T95, you've got to be near a zone line or near a rock or near a house or near some kind of inanimate object that you can squeeze a medium against and get them around in front of you. Because if you go forward and you're a tip of the spear, I'll quite often do it in a medium, even against 30s, and where I'll push really hard and just get next to a Jagdpanzer E100. And as long as the rest of their team isn't on the other flank, I can use him and fill him up and kill him from top hit points all the way down to 0, just going next to him and using his body as cover. Because if he turns side on, the rest of the team will fill him up.
So J76 wants to know, what mediums do you have in your garage?
I'm a bit of a medium hound. Tier 10, I've got all the mediums. Yeah, I've got the Patton, the 50, the Leopard, the 62A, the Object, the FE4202. I'm just checking the tech trees. I've got most of the mediums. The ones that I've sold is probably more of an indictment than anything else. I've sold Pershing and the T20. I wasn't a fan of them. Yeah, I've got all the Russian mediums. They're all good, pretty much.
So I'm going to take a second question just to rank the tier 10 mediums top to bottom. What's the worst? Let's start on the bottom. Name the 3 worst mediums. That'll make it easy.
Well, it's not fair. That's not a fair question. It's like, which of your
How
children
about
do you love
for
the
the
least?
average man? I should say it that way. For the average man who doesn't play peekaboo as well,
fair
or
enough.
doesn't. All right.
Okay. Well, I think for average players, the hardest tank in there is going to be the T62A. I think that's just a rough tank to play for an average player. It causes an awful lot of disillusionment. I've seen so many threads on forums saying, how do I play the T62A? Because people see these tanks just have massive gains all the time and carry in the hands of these 60 to 70% players. And you can do that. But when you get in the actual game, you realize that things like gun depression and armor and ammo racks that are very easily penetrated and things like that are actually have to be taken into account. And because of that, I think probably the 62A is the hardest tank for a noob to play. But if I'd go probably 62A, then Patton, then Object 140, then FV4202, then Leopard, then E50M. I love the FV2. I think that's a great underrated tank.
So Flappy Frog wants to know, what are your thoughts on the KV2?
Haven't driven it yet.
User disconnected from your channel.
It's like I sold the Hetzer. I hate playing the dirt. It really annoys me. It's at that kind of tier. But I'll probably get one just because there's been heaps of comments on YouTube asking for a review on it. And yeah, it's a special tank, so I'll probably buy it. It's not my favorite kind of tank. I mean, I like the Comet. I like mediums. I love playing mediums. If I'm on my own, I'm playing a medium.
So are there any tanks that you feel that are underappreciated
Well, I think the Comet used to be, but I think it's starting to come up now more and more as a bit of a winner chicken dinner. And the Cromwell too, I think people underestimate the Cromwell. I think that's another tank that absolutely canes. It's just people don't play it very well. People tend to play it and not utilize its scouting ability and its speed and its ability to relocate. What else? Oh, the 4D, which I just reviewed, that tank is crazy. I just finished
which one?
The 4D, the Tier 4 German medium Panzer 4D.
Okay.
It's got great pen. It's got big alpha for its tier, and it's mobile enough to move it around. And it's been by far my most effective seal clubber at Tier 4, which is saying something. Got 82% in that over 100 games, which is well above the norm for me. And a part of it's the tier, obviously, but it's the alpha and the pen on that gun that really, really. I think it's hard to say anything else is underappreciated. Like, I mean, everyone knows about the side-scraping Russians and things like that. And they're all. Everyone knows about those tanks. I mean, Russian bias is real. It's a real thing. It's just it's a joke.
It is a real thing.
Damn straight.
So I'm going to combine about 3 different people's questions together. And you talked about platooning and playing with people. Can you tell a difference when you play with somebody who's like a 50% win rate versus a 60% win rate versus a 70% win rate player?
God, yes. Surely, yeah, absolutely.
And then, so let's talk about that real quick, expanding. What's somebody who's going from a 50% win rate to a 60% win rate? What do you notice about somebody who's an average to becoming above average player?
Map awareness, just map awareness. Like if I'm playing with my normal guys, there's a bunch of older Aussies that I always hang out with: Chapos, Aegon, Snake Eyes Warrior, Josh 8, these Pink Daddy, all those kind of guys, and they're all really map aware. So, and we don't have to say anything. Like we don't really use TeamSpeak ever. It's very rare to use that. So, if there's a tank coming along the side, I'll just press affirmative and saying, look, I've seen something there. And I'll know there's a couple of, like on my recent E3 video, there's a map on Middleburg where we're playing, and it ends up me and Aegon versus 5, the 2 of us. And there's an IS-3 that's coming around the corner, and I've just started turning towards him. And as soon as he comes around the corner, he gets hit by both guns at the same time, ends up on 5 hit points, and he reverses off. And that's because Aegon's like nearly 60%, I'm nearly 60%. We both watch the map. And you watch guys that are, I platoon with sometimes who are low, where I'm screaming for help, or I'm down facing a tank that's tougher, and they just don't watch that map. They don't pay that much attention. They'll do the right things, like they'll hull down and they'll side scrape, but they won't watch the flank.
User in your channel is recording.
They won't notice that the whole enemy team is mediums, and they're definitely not going to come the middle of town. You can't get them to drag them up the hill. And I think that's the biggest difference, is just tactically making the right decision, knowing when to push. Like, that's the other thing. There's places where people just go into that rote kind of thing, like Copperfield, where if you look at the enemy team, there's an E100, a Jagdpanzer E100, a Mouse, this kind of makeup, and you've got a tank that's a Leopard or even a really fast heavy like an IS-7 or something like that. You've got to push that, and looking at the enemy team and realizing that's the opportunity to rush and stop them before they get up the hill and win the game right there, like a minute, 30 seconds in. That's something you don't get until you've had the experience and you start being more aware of the surroundings.
Now, I imagine on your server you have some what we call unicorns, or 70% win rate players.
Unicums, we call them. Unicums.
Unicorns. Yeah, they call them that here too, but I think that sounds such a silly name, so I call them unicorns.
It is. That's the Russian mispronunciation. That's apparently where it came from.
Oh, really? Those jagoffs. Can't even speak English. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So what do you see on your server that the 70% win rate players do differently 60% win rate player?
They don't miss, dude. I'm sure you've come up against this in the past, where you're doing everything right, like the hill at the top of Winter Melanovka. You're in an E5, he's in an E5. You're going up there, you're using the gun depression, you're not giving them easy shots, and they hit the turret every single time. And you're just screaming because you're like, they never miss. And it's a really tough thing too.
User in your channel is recording.
From Australia, where you'll probably see on my videos, my ping never gets under 120. That's a good day. Like usually it's about 140, 150. And some of these guys sitting on the server in Singapore, and they're like 20 ping. And the difference is just huge. And you can see on the videos that when you don't miss, that's the biggest difference. Like they won't make mistakes too, but they also, there's guys out there that are 70% players. Like Ruckus is a proper 70% player, 48-ton Ruckus. I mean, I think he's about 75%. And there's freaks out there who don't platoon.
User in your channel is recording.
And they'll have 70, 72% win rates. But then you get guys that re-roll their tanks, just play a Russian line, spam nothing but gold, and only platoon on team speak with a mate. And they've got 70% win rates. And you're like, mate, whatever. You know, they're not that good. They have an unfair advantage. But the guys that are really good, the ones who are the really special players, they just don't miss. Ever. It's just so frustrating.
So I'm going to switch over to maps now. In the game, what is your favorite map?
Probably Middleburg.
Now, why Middleburg?
I think it offers something for everyone in a really compact space, which is pretty tough to do. It's got the opportunity for mediums to have a good minute or so, 35, 40 seconds of balls to the wall dogfighting up top if they want to do it. It's got side scraping down the bottom for heavies where you're protected from sniper fire from up top because of all the buildings. I don't think either of the spawns are particularly unbalanced one way or another. I mean, I think the top spawn is probably better for mediums in certain situations, and that spawn is better for the heavies and like that. I think it's a balanced map. And I think a close second for me would be Port Bay for much the same reason.
Hold on. That's the next question. That's the next question.
Yep.
I'm gonna expand that on. So now you're in Middleburg. You can play a TD, a medium, or a heavy. Tier 10, what are you playing?
I'm playing a medium because it's more fun. And I can do whatever I want, and it gives me opportunity and flexibility. And I'm probably going to be playing an E50M or a Leopard. That's where I'm at.
An E50M or Leopard. What TD would you play if you had to?
E3 every time.
Okay.
E3 on Middleburg is a slaughterhouse.
All right, so now let's go and expand on Port. New map. There's several different sides. The bridge, the hills in the middle, the transition to the town, the port itself. 30 seconds into Port, where do you go?
I'm on the hill on the far flank, using the hull down position there to snipe back across the bridge.
Do you cross the bridge to all the way to the...
No.
No?
No.
So you stay in the hill section in between? Okay.
Yeah.
When you play on Port, and if, let's say you go to the hillside, and all of a sudden everybody's like, forget about you, I'm going to town. They all left you. You're on Port, everybody's going to town, you're going towards the hill. 30 seconds in, do you leave and follow your team?
Nah, fuck that. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good spot. Like, you can inflict big damage, and they've got to come up to get you, and there's plenty of room to bug out there if you're in a medium.
All right, now here, mind you, now here I'm going to expand that again. You're in your E50M, 45 seconds in, 3 reds pop up on the map in front of you over the hills. Now what do you do with your whole team in town?
Well, I'm fighting. That's all there is to it. There's not much choice. Like, if you're there, you're going to make use of that hill and do your best. Like, it depends too on what tank they are. Like, if
you are in a medium, do you ever flex or change a position?
God, yeah.
Know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if it's a Leopard, you don't have to worry about those kind of things because I've always got speed boost there, and if it gets dodgy, I'll just speed boost and I'll beat the pants off them out of there every time. So that's
let's change the tanks. A majority of our guys are probably a little bit slower. An E5, like what you're talking about, you can see a 50M or a 62, or even in some cases IS4s. If you're in something that can go only 35 to 40 kilometers an hour, how do you flex in situations where you know that you're outnumbered and you can't win?
Backwards. that's just you can't turn in an E5 or anything like that, and you're not fast enough, even though they're mobile heavies.
Do you ever consider the fact that you're just going to die and you fight that battle out?
Yeah, and I quite often do. I don't know what you guys are like, but I'll make the decision on who's not going to kill me. Like that guy, you're a dick. You're not going to get the kill. Whatever happens, you're not going to get the kill. And I'll keep facing that Panzer E100 while the Comet's pinging me on the side, regardless of what happens. But I find I rarely overcommit like that these days anyway. I used to all the time. But if I'm in an IS-4 or something, I'm nearly always giving myself an out. If you're on Port Bay, I wouldn't be all the way over on the right flank in an IS-4. It doesn't have a gun depression. It's not quick enough.
Where would you go with an IS-4 in port?
Well, I'd probably hang in one of the channels there, like either up the top, like here. I'm not sure which spawn it is, but the one where you come out and you turn to the right to go to the flank towards the, I think it might be the southern.
Okay, so,
anyway.
So the port is inside.
Yeah. So if I'm in an IS-4 there and I'm the only one on that side, then I'm going to be up in that little spot just above the road, looking into the cap circle and looking to the right towards the bridges, which has got a hump on either side. And you can see everyone that's coming from either direction, and you've got a really easy space to angle off. And if any mediums try and come down there, it's a narrow passageway, so you can block them and fill them up at your own leisure. Plus, you're within range. If anyone comes forward, they can, they're silhouetted against the hill if they really want to commit to having a shot at you. And they'll get lit up by, hopefully, by team members who are down on the ground. That's if I'm in a heavy. If I'm in a medium, you've got so much ability to flex. And that really is the key. That's why I love mediums. Like, you get to relocate and reposition. You don't get to do that too much in a heavy.
So putting this forward, so if I had to ask you a question of would you play a medium or a heavy and what map it would be, every answer would be a medium?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's not
like
true.
For example, I was going to say, if you played Black Goldville, what would you and you had to choose a tank, tier 10, medium or heavy?
To win, I'm probably going heavy. Yeah. But if I'm just to play, to enjoy, I'm always playing a medium. That's the thing. Tier 10, it's harder to carry, I find, in a medium than it is to carry in a heavy, just because the tier 10 gives you slight advantages in hit point pool and slight advantages in DPM when you're in a medium. And
you never bottom tier either.
Beg your pardon?
You never bottom tier.
No, exactly. But the problem with tier 10 is the advantages are only really slight until you get to certain heavies where you literally won't get penned by certain lower tier tanks. You just won't get lit up. You can't, unless they're really lucky. Like an IS-4 or an IS-7 is really tough to pen for anyone underneath it. Whereas a T-62 or a FV4, like an FV4 202, you just fire at the turret. There's no gun there. The same with the
User in your channel is recording.
Or any of those tier 10 mediums, they've got really big weak spots. Even the E50M, although it's a gorgeous medium heavy, it's got such weak sides that and the gun mantlet is non-existent too. So you can get hit in the face, and it's rough in the face, in the turret. Whereas with a heavy, you can bully. You can really be a bully. You can go that top in an IS-4, and you're a low profile, and you can roll forward, and you just meet tier 8 heavies or something up there, they're going to die. Like, they're not going to pen you very easily. You're going to get them every time. You can side scrape off things, and you can't really always do that in a medium. So if you want to be a bully and you want to win, I'd rather a TD or a heavy. If you want to just,
User in your channel is recording.
I go to medium.
So I'm going to transition. Let's talk about the future of Blitz. Now, some of this is speculation. A lot of this is unknown. Are there any maps from the PC that you've ever seen, or have you looked at any maps from the PC that you would like to see come to Blitz?
I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of it. It's like a huge open ground, not desert. It's like forest, wood. Oh, I just don't know the name. Is it Himmelsdorf, maybe? Where there's a big thing, there's a town, huge hills, much like Port Bay, but bigger, much bigger. I'd love to see that kind of thing in Blitz, like bigger maps.
So you want open maps, not city maps.
Yeah,
User disconnected from your channel.
That's where I'd go on medium all the time, because like if you go massive open, it's like with cover and with camo, then you could use a medium. Like, I love using camo especially. Like my Cromwell runs a net and binoculars because I'm just spotting all the time in it. And I'd love to have that ability to play fast and loose on a really, really big map for your team. But the gameplay isn't really that suited to it, I guess.
Now, are there any new nations or lines like the British TD or that are coming out that you are excited and looking forward to?
Yeah, maybe the Type 57 or another one of the objects if they bring another medium out. Apart from that, like I can't see myself. I've got, I don't know, I think I've got 12 tier 10s at the moment. And I know there's guys a lot more, but between making the videos and everything, I just have a hard time grinding. If I had to pick one, it would be that stupid Death Star, the British tank destroyer. I'd love to see that. That just looks, I don't know how they balance that. That just looks insane.
No, I agree. I think I could see a lot of kids opening up their wallet just to buy the tier 10 when that comes out.
Yeah.
I think that would be a common thing.
Yeah, kick on.
But yeah, the wallet warriors, as we call them here.
Yeah, all the guys like 10 minutes after a patch where they're driving a tier 10. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, that's how the Moss was. I called it the Moss effect at first. I've never saw it before. But so let's talk about, have you ever looked at the China line, the Type 59, Tier 8 medium premium? If it came out and you're a medium lover, would you buy that?
Yeah. I didn't pay the $30 Aussie for the E25 just because it's a tier 7 and I don't get to play enough as it is. If I had a tier 7, I just wouldn't play it much. I'd love to have it. I think it's a fun looking tank, the Cockroach. I just don't have it. And I saw there was some speculation quite a while ago that the FV 4202 was going to be dropped down to being a free medium premium like it was in the PC, and they were going to replace the FV 4202 with another tank. And I would have loved that because I can't find a decent great premium medium. So I'd love a tier 8 premium medium.
No, that makes sense. Hey, let's move over to some clan discussions. Yep. In your clan, and it comes time to put together a 7-man lineup, what is the tank class that you predominantly see making up your 7-man lineup?
It's funny. I've not really thought about that. I've seen on PC all the live wargaming stuff, and there's heaps of really mobile fast tanks that people play, and they just play like, lightning quick hammer punch stuff, and it's very different from the meta of the public games where you play the big heavy stuff to be successful. But I'd suggest it to be maybe E5s for your heavies, things like that, because side scraping and all that kind of thing is good with the IS4. In as much as you can troll bounces out of people that don't know better. But if I'm playing an IS4 and I'm in an E5 or a medium, I just leave them alone. I bugger off and do something else. And they're out of the game. And I think that's something as you get to be a better player and you go into clan wars and things like that, you'll find everyone's using TeamSpeak and coordinating. The ability to bring 2 guns to bear where there's only one is going to be the thing that wins. And I just don't think some of the tanks that do really well for me in public games are going to be the same as that. So I'd suggest maybe E5s. If you're looking at tank destroyers, Object 268s. If you're looking at mediums, then T62A maybe. But I'd love to see Leopard getting a run there too, because I think a Leopard could really, really be special if it was kitted out the right way in clan wars as well. Because it's got good camo in it, and it's got really good view range, and it's super quick, and you can run it as a devastating spotter. Because whatever happens, you're never going to run out of a .30 dispersion, 2.3 second aim time gun. I mean, that's always going to have a job.
Channel is recording.
Now, you mentioned you're part of a clan. Does your clan have any clan-specific events? Do you have any tournaments or contests internally?
Yeah, we do. I don't really take.
What are some of those?
But yeah. They do clan wars, which is much like you guys do. I think the same kind of thing, not clan wars, but where they'll do countdowns in a kick channel, and everyone will jump on at the same time and end up in these hilarious games where you've got 4 T62As versus 5 T62As kind of thing. and that's all well and good. And last night the clan actually did a tier 4 kick event where the clan leader got hammered 3 games in a row driving his B2 and had a hissy fit and left. So, boss, if you're listening to this, no, he's not going to listen to this anyway. This is private. What the? Get stirred up here. Yeah, we do that. We don't have the event prize money and stuff. There's some. I've got an NDA, so I can't really talk too much about other stuff. But I think there is some event stuff coming up. That Wargaming is looking at doing around the world.
No. We see a lot of that too. I understand where you are. What do you participate in the forum contest that Wargaming hosts on your site?
No, I don't. I don't have the time. Man, I played basketball last night, and the night before that we had it's like I'm a 43-year-old dude. I don't have many more years left of getting my ass kicked by 20-year-olds on a Wednesday night. And it's like I just don't have time. And you've got kids, and you're sitting at home, and you don't see your missus till 7:30 at night. She's getting in from her job, and you've got to.
I get it.
You're just when are you going to do it?
Now, you mentioned, one time we were mentioned. Do you ever think you'll have the time to do Clan Wars with your personal life, how it is?
Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be happenstance more than, or like we all do, when the wife goes away. it's where it'll probably happen. When she goes back and visits her parents in England or something like that, I'll probably become a Clan War prima donna and be playing in it every waking moment. But yeah, at the moment.
Now, have you ever gotten to the point, and you've been playing now, you played a good number of games, have you ever thought like, damn, I just need to take a break. I need to take a vacation. Have you ever thought, I just need to take a break from Blitz?
No, I think that's because of the YouTube channel side of things. I actually enjoy making the videos and doing something like that. It's a bit different, and I think because of that, it keeps me pretty fresh for the game. But I have noticed that I won't just play. I have a hard time grinding things now. I'll play enjoyment over a grind, and I have a hard time getting back to a grind. That Object 140 was easy because I already had like 400 KXP on the T54 just hanging around. But if I had to grind that up from the ground, I probably wouldn't have it in the garage right now.
Now, if Clan Wars comes out and it's an event where you play in, would you still play public matches, or would you only play with your clan mates?
No, I'd still play public matches. I'm a bit different in that because of the YouTube channel, I'll log on and I'll have constant platoon requests all the time, and I'll play with them. Like a lot of the subbies aren't great win rates or anything, but they're nice enough to subscribe to me on YouTube, and they're friendly and they ask questions and they participate in discussions. So you want to hang out and return the favour. So I'll play with people all the time. I'll play with anyone really, and I'm not an elitist in terms of that. I prefer to play with my mates, of course, but and that's the whole reason I joined the clan I'm in, because basically they're all local blokes and they're all about my age group and everything. The same way you Triarii boys are, I guess, is kind of the same thing. You go to your demographic.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. Speaking of which, you have some platoon mates. Have you ever met any of your platoon mates or clanmates in person?
No, I haven't. It's kind of a weird thing, this whole, I don't know. It's like I'm too old for this shit. Like I used to do that when I played EverQuest and Diablo and all that kind of stuff. And I've still got IRC mates from, what was this, over 20 years ago. Shit. Like that's all well and good. And like the guys I used to hang out with at IRC are now barristers and things like this. It's really weird. Everyone grew up, and I don't know if I could go through that again and go and meet everyone and hang out. I would if it was like it was an event, but I got so little time for my own mates and that I play golf with and play basketball with and to hang out and watch games and do that kind of thing. It's really hard to make the time to go and meet people that I've never met before on purpose.
No, I understand. I played it at golf tonight, and I left on the 8th hole to come do this because it was more important.
No, why didn't you tell me? I would have waited an hour for sure. You've got to at least get 9 in.
Hell in a handbasket. No. I appreciate you taking the time to come over to us.
It's raining on me. I haven't played in a month. Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, speaking of that, not disclosing too much, but if Wargaming were able to get you onto the NA server with an account, would you feel comfortable playing with us on what we call a gladiator night or a countdown?
Rock and roll. That'd be awesome. It'd be all over it.
What I'd like to propose to you is in August is you let us know your schedule. We will build an event around. If you want to make it 8 p.m. your time, 3 a.m. ours, we're on board. I mean, I guarantee you, if you do it on a weekend, we have diehard tankers that will come in, no matter the time, too. We have some guys that play hooky from work.
We could do it, man. Right around now is cool. We could do that. Now on a Thursday is probably a good time. As good a time as any. Yeah, we could do that. This sounds awesome. I'd have a great time. It'd be great fun.
No, I think it'd be great, and I really think it would be interesting. Overall, when you're all done with everything, I'd be interested to hear your perspective comparing the Asia server game style versus the NA server and what the differences are.
Yeah, I'd really be interested in that too. I think the Asia server is fascinating. I don't know that such a melting pot, and not just language-wise, but culturally as well. And there's a whole thing on the Asia server where you can tell a lot of the Asian players, particularly from Korea and Japan and such, where they don't even start to think that I'm boxing those two countries in together. I'm just saying different cultures to Australia where they'll really get upset at people and question their cowardice and stuff like this. And
so rages in chat, more or less?
Not just raging, but the things they rage about. It's not like they just call people a noob. They call them cowards. Like, you're a coward. Why are you such a coward? And you're like, it's a game. How can you be afraid? But that's a whole cultural thing, I think. And that's the other thing too. I think I'm very lucky with the Asian server in that it's giving me access to a very, very different marketplace of people. And I say marketplace just because of work, a very, very different demographic of people. And the guys that I've met through there and some of the clanmates I've got, it's really interesting to talk to people who have very, very different cultural backgrounds and day-to-day lives than I do. I find that fascinating.
I guess my last question to you that I have is, do you have a regular platoon mate, or if you could pick 3 people that you haven't platooned with in the World of Blitz, who would they be?
My regular platoon mate, I play with Aegon all the time, and Pimp Daddy and Chappos and Snake Eyes Warrior, same guys. Whenever they're on, and Josh, if they're on and I'm on, we're in a plat. The guys, if I could get celebrities, that's different. People who don't even play Blitz, I'd go for that. But in terms of other players I haven't played with. Wow, I mean, I haven't played with any of the guys on the American service, so I'd probably play with you idiots first. Low-key and Lepton and some guy and all those kind of guys. I mean, the freaks would be always good to play with. I mean, I don't want to get too controversial here, but I saw that there was the Forums and Flames at Concept got banned, and I wouldn't have minded playing with him just to watch him, but I don't know if we were the same kind of personality. That's the only thing. So
one of the things to note is he's not banned from the game. He just can't post on the forums. That's all.
Yeah,
it's like you can't go to that bar to drink, but you can go to the bar. You can still come to the club. You just can't come to that bar. and that's really what I think a lot of people are misconceiving. Yeah. You can still play with him in game. I think that
you can still post on YouTube and everything. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you also give me a wish list of players, I'll see if I can reach out and see if we can make some things happen for you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I don't want to take up all your time. I remember you said you had an hour for us. If there's anything you want to ask us, or I was going to even open it up and ask if there's anybody else want to ask anything with the limited time we have left, and go from there.
Yeah.
How much time do you have left, Bushka?
Yeah, I've got a while. I've got a little bit of time. I made up a pretend appointment, so we're all good.
User disconnected from your
Hey,
channel.
Bushka, this is Kaiser Sose. We chat on YouTube every now and again.
On YouTube we do. You've got that lovely Usual Suspects
yes.
thumbnail.
Left Turn and I have been recording this. I just want to get your permission if we end up publishing pieces of it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. No worries at all.
Okay.
That's a pleasure.
Cool. It was good to meet you, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you too. You too. Where are you guys all from? So you guys mostly American? Is that the case? Or, I mean, some of you are Canadian, right?
Well, some Jagoffs are from Canada. I'm from
Lokeen and I.
We're
We're the hosers, Lokeen and I.
Wicked.
I'll accept that too.
I love the fact that you PM'd CC Slide to ask him what a yins was.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It sounds Scottish. Yeah.
None of us know either.
Yeah, it's just
stupid Pittsburgh thing. I'm trying to be cool.
That's my Pittsburghese coming through.
Yeah, how many humans have you got over there in that clan?
Let's see. You figure you have 125 that are registered, but I mean, we have a lot of lurkers too.
Yeah,
and I probably say the one thing you have to notice about Triarii is we have a group of guys. I mean, we're not even playing right now, and I bet you. Let me take a quick glance. And we have over 30 people here right now. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so a lot of people.
That's a big thing.
Well, and
I'm sure there's people that can't even get in.
Yeah,
oh no,
I mean,
we're not in the lobby.
That's the other thing too.
In this channel.
But we probably, in a given sense, we're a little bit different too as a clan. People come on to play, and we're really more about playing with everybody. Like we do have there's different win rates across the board, everywhere from 12% to 72%. And I think the other thing is too, is we're more of the community and TeamSpeak is probably easier for a North American server because everybody speaks English for the most part.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
Let's say you don't like you want to talk about your 7th grade homework and you want to join a clan that talks about beating up bullies and getting wedgies. There's a clan for that. Yeah. And there's a spot everywhere almost for anybody in the NA server that speaks English, where I imagine it's probably a little bit different with the cultures and different experiences on your server.
There's not a lot of English speaking clans on the Asian server group. Hell of a lot of Japanese and Korean and Chinese gamers, which is really, I find quite interesting. But one of the main reasons I like the guys I'm with is because there's a kick channel and all day long that thing's going off. Everyone's sitting at work working and the kick channel's going on. You guys have been there before. You guys have all been playing RPGs for a long time, but you used to you go through that stage where it's all about the power gaming and all about doing that kind of thing and getting the best loot and winning the game, the treadmill. And I think as you get a little bit older and a little bit wiser, you start setting it up. And I think that didn't really exist when I started gaming, because we really were like the first generation of RPG playing people. Like I sold my first EverQuest character for $3,000 US, like 20 years ago. It was a whole different, it was like a brand new thing. No one had done it before. And it was all about winning all the time and having the best gear and doing all this shit. And now you get clans like this, where it's all about community service and guys like you guys doing the right thing and keeping everyone involved and making a real effort to make sure that it's an enjoyable situation for everyone. No one feels ostracized or, cliques and that kind of thing can be very, very nasty to be dealing with in online stuff. And I like that fact that it's grown and become a bit more inclusive.
That's good to hear. Thank you very much for that.
That's all right, dude. You guys are a hell of a team.
Any other questions from anybody?
Can't imagine there's anything else anyone wants to hear me say.
No, I've probably beaten the treadmill raw now.
That's a lot of me chatting. My wife would have gone to sleep long ago.
No, I appreciate very much coming on, and if you don't mind, I'll reach out to you through the Blitz forums, and we'll set up something here, perhaps here in late July or August, once we get the account set up, and we'll have a night or a couple days for you.
That sounds beautiful, man. Like there's some big official stuff coming down the pipe from Wargaming in the next wee while that should be fun too. So I'll be putting up some videos about that kind of stuff, and I can't really talk about any of it, but it'll be very cool.
So
play an outro, Bushka. Jesus. Am I still here?
Yep.
I think something happened to some guy.
He's ditched us. He's back.
His mic show's active, but he's not muted, but he seemed to have dropped off there, shall we say.
Yeah.
User in your channel timed
Oh,
out.
he's gone now. He's gone. Yeah,
He timed out. He didn't touch his computer for too long.
What a doofus.
Do you guys play on TeamSpeak
User in your
when you're
channel
actually
is recording.
playing a lot?
Oh, yeah.
We have two groups. We have our silent group and we have our TeamSpeak group, and they mix a lot, but yes.
User disconnected from your channel.
Whereas I do sometimes, but if I'm on the couch beside what we call Sync House or Commander-in-Chief House, otherwise known as
User
the wife,
in your channel is recording.
then silent.
Man, my wife would just take the piss massively. Yeah, I find it fascinating. Before, I used TeamSpeak a lot, Roger Wilco and that, when I was playing CS and Half-Life and World War II Online and all that kind of stuff. But playing Blitz, I just hadn't even really thought about doing it. And I found as soon as we started using TeamSpeak really in the last week to 2 weeks. And every time we do, it's like 80% win rate. The win rates just go through the roof. Crazy. It's just, and to think that there's if you were doing it all the time, it would just be phenomenal. I've got a how to medium video coming out in the next day, which should be interesting. And in that, there's a couple of games where we're team speaking, and you can see when I just watch it back compared to gameplay that's got no team speak on it, it looks like it's like ballet dancing versus freaking hip hop. It's just not even close. Do you guys find that too? That's how it rolls?
I mean, I think overall, Speak is definitely a positive enforcement for win rate.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I find it helps a lot.
The nice
There's just
thing
so
is
many things.
events.
There's just so many things that you can't communicate with the limited short forms, and even so many things that you don't have time to type in the game. Like, I was just playing. I have to admit that Left Turn and I have started platooning, and for example, we just had a game just now, Middleburg, where we started on the spawn with the high hill on your left side, and I wanted him to, what I term as the pit maneuver, because he showed it to me, is to run up right on the buildings on the right side, all the way past where you usually meet the other team's heavies. Yeah. And there's a little knoll there that you usually take a shot or two, but whatever.
Yes.
You can get to that knoll. Yeah, and then basically come out and you've got side shots so that either they face you or they face the rest of your team. So either way, they're getting ripped apart.
Yeah.
But I couldn't communicate that to him because we're silent and we got ripped apart.
User in your channel timed out.
Because it didn't work. So, enough said. TeamSpeak helps.
User in your channel is recording.
Yeah, we got our asses kicked. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, and it's the best thing when you get hammered. It's the best thing too to have someone.
User in your channel timed out.
Is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can jokingly blame everything on them. Like everything's Left Turn's fault. Clearly. I don't make mistakes. I only lose when I'm with him.
User in your channel.
What about when you're on TeamSpeak and you're with some player that's a freak and you're like, you finally get to meet them on TeamSpeak, and they turn out to be about 12, and you're like, oh, fuck, seriously, you can't be like.
See, we don't have that problem too much here. Occasionally you get it, but with our group, a majority of the players are 30 plus, I'd say.
Old guys.
Yeah.
The most common thing you'll have, like with me, I have to leave to change a diaper, or I can do it now in 22 seconds of a game. So if you let me be AFK, we can be great partners. But I play 40% of my games with a 3-year-old or a 6-month on my lap.
Yeah,
I can attest to that.
My boy, he hangs out all the time when I'm playing. He loves it. He just thinks it's the best thing. He loves it. And he's got an account too in Platoon sometimes.
Hey, Bushka, just out of curiosity, I came in kind of late, but now do you play the PC version or the Xbox version of World of Tanks?
I don't. I watch the reviews from the PC version, but I don't play it, no. I wish I did. I just don't have a PC, really, to play it on. It's a bit rough. Yeah, and if I sat down on a computer for 5 minutes, my wife would be like, she'd find something for me to do really quick. It'd be game over.
Yeah, the great thing about this is you can hide in the washroom all that.
Yeah, that's it. Man. I'm just going to the toilet. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's just going to sit in the edge of the bathroom.
Out in a few minutes.
Yeah. Do you only play on your iPad, or do you ever play like on a phone or any other devices?
No, only on the iPad. I'm 6'5". I've got massive hands. If I was playing on the phone,
it's lobster claws. I mean, you can't do anything with that.
I can't do it with the iPad, mate. I'm tough using the freaking phone. Honest to God, it's like
you're a pretty big guy overall.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big dude.
Now, transitioning just a different idea. What car do you drive, being that big of a guy?
What do I drive on the golf course?
No. What kind of car? Like an automobile?
Mate, I've got like a Nissan Dual. It's just something to run around and drop kids off. I don't really spend much time in the car ever. I live about 5 minutes from where I work. So, apart from dropping the wife off down at the wharf to catch the ferry to work and dropping the boy at school, I'm nearly always just in the office or within 5 seconds of the office. I'm just walking.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm
do you bike at all?
Lucky boy.
Another question you may have already. Sorry about that. Another question that you may have already answered or may not know. I don't know. Team play. I know everybody talks about clan wars, but team play option in the Blitz. Do you have any insight when that's coming?
I don't, man. But I know I'd love it, and I'm in a dev chat with a couple of the other boys, and we talk to the guys from the Asian side of things, and we ask these questions, and I think they're just pretty much like the resources they have at their disposal to port stuff to thing aren't huge. I think a lot of it is taken up with just bringing the tanks over and adding new options to the interface and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem like I've seen anything massively game-changing coming down the track. But, I'm also not at the heart of it all. I doubt very much they'd tell us contributors until basically we only find out stuff when they need us to do something. So if there's something coming up that they want us to review or go through, then they'll have a chat to us about it. But otherwise, other than that, need to know basis only.
Now, when you mentioned being a contributor and you go onto the test server with bots, are there ever times where you get to play with other players on the test server?
Only if I was to organise it with Ruckus or Hugh Jass or someone like that to actually start a proper game so that we could, and we should. And I've got every intention of doing that because I'm sure you guys want to know. Like, I'm desperate to find out more about the mechanics of camouflage and things like that. And it's something we always want to do, but it's hard to line the time up. I really should get off my ass and do that too, because I'd love to see exactly, definitively how spotting works. What is the exact time frame, rather than going 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi kind of thing. I just find out exactly how long it takes to come off the map for all tanks, whether it's a unified thing that is for every tank comes off the map at the same time, or mediums take quicker, TDs might take longer, or whatever, that kind of thing. I'd love to know the specifics on those numbers. All kinds of things.
User in your channel stopped recording.
Which would be pretty cool.
You just said something interesting as an Aussie. So you say 1 Mississippi to count seconds?
I was just using that to so you guys, keep you up to date with things. I didn't want you to lose track. I know you have trouble paying attention. Just trying to speak the lingo, mate. Ugly as a handful of armpits, full as a public school holiday. Yep, rather at my own legs. Yeah, nothing particular. I never say that in real life.
Bushka, do you mind admitting what town you're in? Are you in one of the big ones there?
I'm on the northern beaches of Sydney, just near Manly Beach.
Okay. Been there. Beautiful.
The giveaway was dropping the wife off for the ferry. That was the giveaway.
That's exactly why I asked.
I was very, very lucky to grow up where I grew up. I mean, I've travelled a fair bit, and just I know that I live and work and play golf and basketball and surf and all this within like a little tiny little area.
User in your channel timed out.
Very, very idyllic. I'm very lucky, man.
No, and I guess Do you have a spot that you like to play Blitz in?
Yeah. It's just sitting at home on the bed, plugged into the PowerPoint, no one around, just got the headphones on. That's me. Rock and roll. That's perfect. I find my win rate goes up exponentially when I'm doing it like that, as opposed to standing waiting for a coffee at a cafe, wondering if someone's watching me over the shoulder.
In your channel
wondering why this grown man is playing tanks.
And then, do you actually have a favorite drink while you're playing Blitz?
Yeah, well, I don't drink these days. I've been off the booze for about 3 years, so
I
not that I've
how
had
long?
an issue with it. For about 3 years, 3.5. It's not like a pleasure thing. I just decided to stop drinking one day. That's
So, but you mentioned coffee. Do you have like a favorite coffee or?
Yeah, down at Rosebery Street in Manlyvale, they do a wonderful thing called an Amberlina, which is a special blend we've got down there, which I'm all over. That's the winner. Apart from that, though,
So this place has Wi-Fi, I assume. So you get a coffee.
It has Wi-Fi. If I'm going to play anywhere, but you know what? Don't you hate it when you're playing Blitz? You're in the middle of a game and some dickhead starts browsing Ninja or something over the road, just across at the table next to you. You can see him doing it on his little laptop, little hipster dick, and he's going through, bringing up all the images and the videos and everything, and you're just like, he's killing your ping, like he's sucking up all the bandwidth at the cafe. You just want to stand up and smack him and throw his little Mac Air thing through the window.
I got to do it at home. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I got to do it with my son. Hey, get off the phone, get off the computer. What are you doing? My
Man,
ping just went to hell.
But do you remember, like, I don't know how old you are, but I used to go to his house and get the old, what was that fucking homework? Anyway, I don't know. But, you know, just, and then you're suddenly online and someone gets on the phone, get off the internet. Like, Christ, the age we grew up in, the difference between then and now.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, definitely.
I solved that issue with my new router. It has bandwidth priority, so.
Well, that's my wife. Like, she'll get on Netflix and stuff and kill it. Just murder it. Oh, what can you do?
Happy wife, happy life.
Do you guys have
your
any
channel timed
female members?
One.
Yeah, we've got like a couple. We don't have any in the clan, but I've met a couple. That's another thing that I think, I don't know about you guys, but I've had some really odd situations on YouTube. Not odd as in bad, but things where parents have sent me messages saying,
User in your channel is recording.
you really helped little Johnny up his win rate on his tank by 5%. Thanks very much. You were wonderful. And thanks for putting with him the other day. You made his day. That was amazing. And you won 5 in a row and he was so happy and pleased. I'm just like, that creeps me out more than anything, which is cool. But I'm like, Jesus, I don't want to have any influence on someone else's child. I mean, I'm worried enough about how bad I am for my kids. Let alone some other bastards' problems, you know. I got a tweet the other day from someone saying, "Your video was amazing. Little Johnny loved it. You couldn't watch the last 5 minutes though because you were swearing like a sailor." And but not wanting me, not negative, not saying change your tune or do anything like that. That worried me about that concept thing too, because he got banned.
User disconnected from your channel.
I drop the F-bomb all the time.
How many warnings, though, have you gotten from Wargaming?
No, never got a warning. And I never do it in official capacity. Like if I'm doing a video for them, I'd never swear in it. I just, I wouldn't. But it worries me because, if that happened, it would be a real pain in the ass. No.
Concept made his bed. He's a great player. He could be a really helpful, great guy sometimes.
User in your channel is recording.
Stirring the pot and got lots of temporary bans and warnings and all kinds of other stuff previous to that.
I mean, I got a 24-hour ban before because of the word jagoff, and I had to go appeal it. Oh yeah. And I had to show that jagoff is a commonly word used in the English dictionary, and it wasn't a big deal, but they still banned shenanigans. You can't say that in game.
Shenanigans?
No. Because that's Niga in the spelling. So
that's hilarious. See, like I said, wasn't expecting or was expecting, and that always gets filtered because SEX comes up. Was expecting. I'm like, oh, for God's sake! By that time, my verbal barber's lost its potency, and nothing I say is going to be funny, so I'm just going to leave it. But do you guys have any problems with racism on your server?
Not really.
Not too bad. I mean, it shows up.
We have
as
14-year-old
it does
kids.
anywhere.
User in your channel timed
We
out.
get
Some people drop
I've
the
had to
N-word.
No, I've had to ticket people a lot for like starting a game and coming up with stuff like tiny Caucasians and shit like this, and just how they start the game. Just love it, and they've got tier 10 tanks in that, and that's the thing. I'll report them every time, and they come up with much worse than that. And I've reported like some of these guys multiple times, showing video on that, and there's still once in a while I'll see them in game again. And I'm thinking,
user in your channel is recording.
To get banned if they're banned in concept, like what's it from the forums? What's it take to get banned from the game? Because if someone's sprouting that kind of hate, like I'd rather they were dusting it up in Clash of Clans or something. I'm not interested in having them blitz.
Yeah, my guess is that those people are buying war chests on a regular basis. So Wargaming's like, well, we kind of want them to keep purchasing. So do we really want to ban them?
I don't believe I don't believe that has anything to do with it. I think honestly that there's I know that there's an escalating series of bans for the game as well. And sure, there's always idiots, and you also have to take into consideration that the cultural mores are going to be different in different servers in different parts of the world. So the other thing is they're never going to come and tell you that they banned something.
No.
Right?
I wouldn't expect you to do that. God, no, absolutely not. And that would be horrible if they started telling you what action they'd taken, like you got the win or something. But I just think it's so inflammatory and so kind of person. I find that whole, I don't care, and these guys aren't 14. Some of them are definitely not 14. They're the real, that's what I get involved in the whole conversation.
36-year-old bigots.
Yeah, exactly. They're, the whole supremacist kind of shit that goes on in every country, and they're there, and they use this as a platform. I've had really, really ugly incidents, like 3 or 4 times. But they're always been reported, but I've seen them again.
Did you ever play with when it had friendly fire available in game?
Yes.
Now, what was it like on the Asian server with friendly fire? Because I've heard stories.
It was bad, man. It was rough.
Wish they'd bring it back here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, so when you say it's rough, did everybody do it?
You'd get, not often, but you'd get games where, especially at low tiers, where someone would shoot like an auto-loader and just hit multiple people, and then everyone would turn around and shoot back, and it would just end up, it happened 3 or 4 times, I remember when I first started playing, where the whole team would come out and there'd be like 3 people left alive, and half of them are dead, like half dead and stuff, out into the cap circle just to get knocked. It was just crazy. And there wasn't, I'd love to see the ability, on the Dirt Diaries, there's guys I'll show you where they push me off hills and do stuff like that, and they're dicks, but I don't want to bring friendly fire
User
back.
disconnected from your channel.
Who the hell wants to give those kind of people the ability to shoot at your tank in the respawn? Just it's lesser of greater evils.
We get a lot of blocking.
Yeah,
you know a few things overall. Coming down the pipeline, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for what's coming out in Blitz that you're aware of?
Well, look, there's one thing in particular that's more about me. I can't really speak to it, but there's one thing.
Don't speak to
really
it. How long before you would be excited? Do you say it'd be like in the next 90 days you're going to be excited?
I'd hope so. I can't really.
I want camo.
I can't say a thing.
Give me skins.
No pressure.
And I guess overall, whenever you sign your NDA and everything with Blitz, when does it end? Like, when is it? Like, let's say you're like, screw this, I'm done playing Blitz.
It never ends. It's like the mafia. Once you're in, you're never out.
You get a free plane ticket to Cyprus. This is what Ruckus said to me when I talked to him. He goes, mate, whatever happens, you get a free fucking plane ticket to Cyprus to go and defend yourself in court. So you got that to look forward to. I don't know.
And so is everything when you sign the NDA, is it based in Cyprus? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's under Cypriot law.
What language do they speak there?
Turkish and Greek.
Greek, Turkish, yeah. I've been to Malta and around there a bit, but I've never been to Cyprus. Cypriots. Yeah. Yes, someone asked me DBKLL. Yeah, the quality of play got very bad when the Android tsunami hit. Definitely. It happened, and it was rough as guts on the lower tiers if you're when the Android stuff started. Like, you guys know, starting to play this game is rough. Like, anyone that's got an experience in PC World of Tanks canes it straight away. But if you just walk in and don't know a thing, that's why I did that whole How Not to Explode series, because no one told me, and that was all stuff that I wanted to know from the very get-go. If I hadn't known that, it would have been exponentially easier.
How many games do you have now?
Hang on, I'll have a look. I've got 15,500. Daddy, one of the other guys in our little bunch of amigos, just did his 20,000th game, and I think he did a run through Respawn Young Freedom, a 254 or something, and died. That was his celebration.
Yeah, so how long did it take? How many games did you have played before you felt like you really had it figured out?
Oh, like, I don't feel like that now.
But, you know, how many did you have in before you felt like you weren't going to explode?
Like 6,000 or 7,000. I was shit. I was so bad, but it's just in my nature to, like, I don't know, you guys have probably met people like me, and you are people like me in all kinds of RPGs before, but I was the guy who, if it was Dark Ages of Camelot or EverQuest, I would get the whole freaking realm on a 300-person relic raid and stay up for 12 hours and run strategy and yell at people and go on the forums and rant and rage and do everything. And I learned over time that that's a bad thing and it ruins your life, so to just leave that alone. And so with this game in particular, and I kind of approached it very differently, where I just went, well, how can I get better? And decided to do the research and then put it together and thought, well, maybe I can help other people to actually not have to have the first 5,000 or 6,000 games being just an experience where they learn how to do it right. Maybe they can start doing it right a lot earlier, and I won't have to deal with that pain where they're in their tier 10 mouse and they're trying to cap, you know, in the first 10 seconds of the game and that kind of shit. Like, you know, just help.
Awesome. I'd say you just described the core of Triarii and why we exist.
Yes, I think so. You guys sound like my kind of people. Yeah.
Now you're definitely an Aussie Triarii in my book, so I appreciate that.
Wicked. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I look at my and one of the boys pointed this out to me the other day in Clan, but like my win rate's 58.52 now, right? And even when I was doing the videos, like when I started doing the videos, my win rate was like 51 or something like that. It was terrible compared to where it is now. And it just kept getting better and better because, well, I've just got too many games under my belt. But like we go out now and you win 60 to 70% every single day, but you've got 15,000 games under your belt, and that's why I get really pissed off at the guys that will then re-roll a whole other line, spend $30 buying an IS6, spend all that time grinding up free XP to purchase a T-54 without having to actually drive any of the tanks before it, and then run around loading 30 heat shells and get a 70% win rate with the exact same amount of games played as their best mate, and then get on the game, and when you beat them, they just start screaming blue murder. And you're like, you are the biggest dickhead in the game. You're the reason why I made the videos. I want people to fucking nut you. That's my little rant. That's my pet hate. And there's plenty of them on the Asian server, I'll tell you. Plenty of them. There's a whole clan of them I won't go into. Anyway.
Well, I hope you realized how big you really are, because, you know, you're reaching over 6,000 miles to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Is amazing. This is amazing, dude. What a world we live in, like, to do this kind of thing. And I was talking on the game, like on the dev chat with Ruckus and Hugh Jass, and I don't think I'll be letting the cat out of the bag here by saying Ruckus is like a Sparky in Western Australia. Like, he's an electrician in Western Australia. Hugh's I think he works in IT in Canada. And we were sitting there talking about who was going to be doing what video for 1.11 and how we were going to do it. And should we
User in your channel is recording.
And in Skype. And it's like, how did this happen? I'm a real estate agent sitting here at work in Hanley. And
when did we get here?
I'm talking to all these dudes, and we're going to put something out. And there's like I think the Yag Panther review or the 1.1 patch thing got to about 16,000 views. And it's like, what the hell is this? How is this happening? This is weird. It's real.
User disconnected from your channel.
Man, I don't know how to reach him. What he's asked, how do you reach a wider audience? I don't know. I post my vids up on, now I've posted them on the North American, the European, and the Asian certain forums, and they're on YouTube. But I've looked at search engine optimization, but I'm definitely no expert at it.
User in your channel timed out.
I try and find ways to do that, but I don't know really how to build a bigger subscriber base. The biggest boost I get from by far the biggest
user in your channel is recording
official content. If you release an official video and it comes up in the game, I've only done that once so far. We'll be doing that again very soon. That just sends views and subscriber base through the roof. Just massive change.
How did you become a contributor?
They posted a thread up on the Asian Game forum saying looking for video contributors, and I just started doing it. And I posted up a couple of videos, and I didn't make it. I'm in the first cut. This is like Michael Jordan going 5 inches in high school and making for varsity or whatever. And then that's a joke, guys. I don't think. And yeah, and they took Ruckus and HJ because they had good subscriber bases, and they tend to base it off. Like if they're selling it, they're going to say like this guy's got an audience. And then they were doing content for the patch 1.11, and I came on board well before that, but they said they're thinking about doing this, and they've got like quite a long-term view. They know what's coming up a long-term away. We'd like you to do something for this, and they gave me that. So I think Ruckus and HJ on the Asian servers were probably a little bit under the hammer. There's a lot of stuff going into it, especially if you guys have watched 48 Ton Ruckus. I don't know if you looked at. You should go and watch his T34 Independence review. It's
he sold 50% of the E25s before they came out.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we watched it.
So good. He's so good video wise, but he makes quality, right? I focus, like, I'm the comrade of the group. I'm not like the means of production is just an iPad and fucking churn this stuff out ASAP. He's like bringing out Picassos.
User in your channel timed out.
Hamburgers. And it's like you look at him and the video quality, and you can't. He's got a job and he's got a life. He can't do that much. So they brought me on board as well to help out with the content, and yeah, that's how it basically happened.
Well, I think that your video that you did for the E50M is kind of like the Bible for that vehicle. I recommend it to everyone that ever has or states that they have problems driving that vehicle. I tell them to go watch your video.
I can't believe how many people say that tank sucks. I just have no concept how you can get in that tank and not like it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's a dream.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of it.
Not what I'd say of it.
So I say the one big takeaway I took from our conversation today was the E50M is your favorite medium. I should probably investigate that line as a medium lover.
Yeah, apart from the Comet. Like, I think the Comet, just because it's fun to...
User in your channel
it's
is recording.
It's easier to dominate a game in the Comet than it is in... Like, you can walk into a Tier 7 match and have 4,000 damage. That's not an easy thing to do in a medium, but the Comet can do it, you know?
User in your channel timed out.
The E50M...
Comet versus E25. Which do you think would win?
Oh, the Comet, dude. I'd take the Comet all day.
Now I'm going to have to go back and rebuy my Comet. I love that British line. The Cromwell was my favorite by far, and the Comet, because I did so well in the Cromie, Comet was kind of a drop for me, and now I'm going to have to go check it out again.
It has
it
has T9 DPM. Really,
I have to say, Bushka, I went and rebought mine because of you.
User in your channel is recording.
Yeah, you got to have it. Like it's the DPM on the 54 is 2,481. The DPM
in the
on the
depression
2,400.
The gun depression is amazing.
Yeah, you go mines on Comet, right? And you know how you can win the mines hill in a Russian medium, and you can still be fucked because you can't get your gun to depress down far enough to hit anything. The Comet will actually work that little hill there at the top of mines and you can fire and pull back without getting anyone shot. Like on Castile too, you can go at the top of that hill on Castile. If you're looking down into the opposition spawn where on that little bridge, you can fire down into that bridge like an elephant sticking its nose down drinking the water. It's just you just pop and you're popping, and you're firing like 15 rounds a minute. So these guys can't really get a shot at you. They've got high dispersion, quick, low range.
User disconnected from your channel.
And you're just smacking. You can just do massive damage on that little 160 Alpha. It's just a gem of a machine. I can't recommend it highly enough. Buy one now, get a free set of stake knives. Sound like I'm fucking spruiking for the thing. I'll get on a box with a microphone soon. But you should buy one. Yeah, it's good.
What percentage of Comet purchases and E50M purchases do you get?
No, I wish I did.
Yeah, like I bet you at least get 10,000 credits.
Yeah, that's it. I can't tell you how many times people come into the game, and the only thing they friend me up on the Asian service, and I'm like, I take all friend requests. I don't knock anyone down. And the guys will say, "Hey, how do I get on test? Like, how do I get on that server that you've got 150,000 gold on?" And I'm like, "It's a test server. There's no one there. It's like, you can be king of the world, but if there's no one in it, it's all fucking pointless." And they just all want to be on that.
Bushka, you need to get me on there just so I can drive my E25 with no one around and do jumps.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I do?
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I get on the Leopard or the Cromwell and just run around and run off stuff.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even shoot. Oh yeah, no. Can you please adjust the loadout so I can carry 3 repair kits and just leave me alone?
Now, do you determine where the bots are placed on the test server?
No, it's really frustrating.
User in your channel is
you
recording.
Don't get that opportunity, and you can't decide which map either, which is really annoying. Like the PC version, you get the free camera and everything on the test server, and you can roam around and do all that kind of stuff. But on the Blitz thing, on the special build we get on the iPad, you can't change anything really, apart from the number of bots. You don't get to change the tiers or anything. And that was a barrel blast when I was trying to review the 4D, because it's a tier 4 tank. So I'm running around just trying to get decent gameplay. It's one of the reasons why I didn't spend more time on it. And it was a bit of a surprise when I realized how good it was. Because, what are you going to do? Even bots are going to pen you at tier 4. Very rough.
Cool.
Yeah, no, greatly appreciate you doing all this. This is this would be great. I'd love to expand to have a Bushka night, and we'll play whatever you play. And if you want to do some reviews,
I'll tag along. It's going to be like 500 ping or 350 ping minimum, so it'll be interesting.
User in your channel
do TDs then and snipe.
Yes, exactly. I'll be the dickhead camping in the corner of Copperfield, waiting for everyone else to
Bushka camping on the NA server.
Yeah,
that could be the theme.
No, Bushka roast
we'll
marshmallows.
We'll put 2 bodyguards next to you at all.
Bushka brings marshmallows. Gladiator.
User in your channel is recording.
We're camping.
Sounds like a bit of laughs. Listen, I better get back to work, boys. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, Bushka.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
Talk to you again, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
It was an absolute pleasure. I can't believe you had me on and let me talk for this long. You're champions.
Oh my god! I can't believe you gave us this. I can't believe you gave us this much of your time, man. It's such an. It's just a pleasure to chew the fat.
It's like Seinfeld, mate. You're all winners.
Thanks much.
As long as
got
I'm
a
not
new
George
subscriber.
Costanza.
Hey, thanks again, Bushka, mate, and we will see you on the battlefield here soon.
Yep. Thank you very much, man. I can relate. Lovely to have you have me. So thanks. Have a great day.
Later, bro.
See you, team. Bye-bye.
Later, Gator.
See ya.
Awesome.
That was such a great guy, man.
I'm gonna watch the E50 video.
I'm about to go through all kinds of his videos. I've seen a couple prepping for this just because I knew he was coming on. But those are good.
Whoa, disconnected from your channel.
Diesel, you're echoing real bad.
Well, I'm going to grab me some food, and then after eating, I got to get back on and run some Comets or some E50M.
Left and I have been platoon the whole time. Not well.
Who wants to run a Chroma with me?
Well, I'm glad that worked out well.
User disconnected
see you
from
on
your
the
channel.
flip side.
Thanks
Running
again for getting
Gladiator
hooked
tonight?
up here.
Yeah,
User
it worked out
disconnected
great.
from
I'm
your
glad you
channel.
enjoyed it. And it was very well participated.
Thanks, Pitt.
All right, later, Gators.
Up the Gladiator channel,
User
boys.
disconnected from your channel. Timed out. User in your channel stopped recording. Left your channel. User disconnected from your channel. User left your channel. User disconnected from your channel. User left your channel. User left